Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this day, Lord, where we just can come together, Lord, and we ask that you just open our hearts to what's going to be shared today about our future careers, Lord, and we just pray for safety for everybody as well. I pray this in your Son's name, Jesus. Amen.
Amen.
Okay.
David, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. So Casey had mentioned that she's not quite at the timing of sending out her information yet, like her resume and things, and because she has a couple other things that are working that she's working on right now. What about everyone else? Kimi's about to join. She's about to ready to jump in. What is your timing of when do you think you want to begin putting yourself out there and looking at other opportunities? And you can jump on and say it, or you could go and chat and put what it is.
Who starts?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm currently looking for work. I was recently laid off at my previous job, which was a logistics coordinator for Foodland. So for about a month or so, I've been filing for unemployment. So I have to look for at least 3 positions every week. So I've been currently looking. I've been actively looking ever since my layoff.
Uh-huh. And how's it been as far as how many phone calls you received for the applications?
It was funny because like my old company actually called me back for a position. And then one of the hiring agencies actually informed me of a position, but I've been really picky in terms of the location because I have a 2-year-old son and he's kind of like my priority. So at my old job, I worked only 10 minutes away. So I got so spoiled to just be so close, you know. So I've been really looking for things that are near to where I live. So that's, for me, that's been the difficulty, is trying to find something that's good and then also close by. So
how much have you seen companies allow people to work from home?
Not many in Hawaii, but there's a lot on the mainland. I've tried to apply at least to one company a week that were offering remote work, but it seems like there's a lot more every day offering that, you know, work from home option. So that's neat. I think that's neat. I think a lot of people or companies are realizing like, hey, this is actually working out, you know? So, so interesting.
So if you think about logistics and being a logistics coordinator, do you really be in the office?
So I'm sorry, say that again.
Do you really need to be in the office? You know?
Yeah, right. I could do it remotely. I totally could. So there was I think I applied for a couple logistics related remote work, but I didn't get anything back, any replies back. But yeah, it's a good opportunity. I'm definitely looking in that area of, you know, working from home and seeing if that's a fit. So we'll see.
Yeah, good. What about others as far as timing? Hi, Gail.
Hi, Gail.
For me, I'm actually trying to start my own yard maintenance business.
Nice.
Yeah, all I'm trying to do is just basically wait till my business cards come in so I can start advertising.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I'll be able to finish up my LinkedIn profile to help advertise as well.
You know, I have that. I think that's fantastic. And we're seeing a lot of people who have had a bit of an entrepreneurial bug. And then during the pandemic, they're like, hey, I have nothing to lose. I'm just going to go for it and give it a shot, right? So I have this, it's about an hour and 20 minutes, but it's broken up into 3 segments. It's how do you start a virtual business? It's everything you need to think about from am I a sole proprietor? Am I going to be incorporated? How am I going to set this up? Do I really need a website? And if so, what's the fastest, easiest way for me to get a website up? And then how do I take care of the revenue that comes in? Do I need a separate checking account? All that kind of stuff. So Taylor, if you send me your email, I'm happy
I'll put it in chat. finally made a new email for it for my business.
Awesome. Then I'm happy to share with you that, the 3-module thing that I had created as far as so that you can get your business up and running as quickly as possible.
Okay.
With the least amount, okay, awesome. With the least amount of financial outlay. And I also talked a little bit about some things that you should try to avoid, because as I set up my own business, I realized that I was spending way too much time on things, and it felt like just this complete rabbit hole that sucked me in, and I was spending so much time on this and not doing what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I have some of those things and tips in that one as well.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
That's awesome. Go for it. Yeah. Cool. Sweet. KW, she is focusing and beginning to apply for positions in July. All right. And David, I think David is in the middle of interviews now.
Nice. Yay.
I know. Remember last week where I said, oh, let's use David because you're floating your resume out. And I have a feeling this company, and you guys remember the name of that company I said? Guess who called him? Was that company. I said, oh, imagine if this company called you, and he got a call. So curious to know how that went. I know. So,
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, I had to make an appointment with my car. But yeah, when I called you, Lowe's called me that afternoon. So I went for my interview last week, sometime last week, Wednesday, Thursday. But it's not what I applied for.
Oh, bummers.
So
Yeah,
they actually wanted me to be part of a team that unloads those big Matson containers.
Oh,
And I think that's a little bit too extreme for a guy my age.
yeah, loading.
I get aches and pains just lifting heavy boxes. And that's everything from doors to refrigerators to AC units to boxes of gallons. But it was a good reply. I mean, at least somebody called me right away.
Mm-hmm.
But,
and did you have a chance to talk with anyone there at Lowe's?
Yeah, I went to talk to the manager of that section, the warehouse section.
Yeah.
And I guess they pulled my name off of that list, a general list that I applied, but mine was supposed to be the stocking, putting it out, not unloading the 5 Matson containers from top to bottom. That's going to be a little bit too much for my age, because like I said, I do feel aches and pains just moving boxes around the house.
Oh, I feel aches and pains just thinking about you moving things around.
Probably she's going to get back to me this week, so I'm pretty sure I might have through a body language hint maybe that I'm not. I mean, I said I'm interested, but I'm not really interested because that's not what I wanted to sign up for.
Right.
So there's others that I'm waiting upon, and I got some connections to guide me to certain places to just check.
Fantastic.
So I'll follow up on those, but yeah.
If there was a way in which you could continue the conversation with this manager, because they obviously liked your stuff, they wanted you to come in and talk with them, and to stay connected with this manager and ask, hey, after they tell you, gosh, we're going to whatever with someone else, or it didn't seem like it was a good fit for you.
Yeah.
If you could stay connected for something else in the future.
Yeah, because the position that I applied for, like the seasonal help to fill the shelves, they discontinued that. Mm-hmm. And she's only, I guess each manager hires their own section. So she's warehouse back of to unload. And, to unload containers and then put them on you have to put it on a conveyor belt, and then put it on different pallets, take it out to the sales floor. You know, I think that would have been.
Yeah. So I see this happen a lot, is that we have a conversation with someone at an organization and that position doesn't work out. And so we kind of just drop it.
Mhm.
It's done.
Yeah.
And yet how many times does the next day, the next week, they are in a meeting and they go, oh, hey, we need to, things are picking up again. We need to go and hire. We need this seasonal stuff. And so that person might go, hey, there was this person that I interviewed that I really liked, and he really wanted the seasonal stuff.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So
I'll work with that.
for us to think of that, because if it's kind of like, okay, when you're at a party and your cousin goes, oh man, we're trying to look for somebody in our office, and you're like, oh, I know somebody. That feeling of, oh, I can help you, and I may know of someone, let me make a connection. That is so cultural. And by staying in contact with people, and then she can go, I know somebody. I met him, he's great. You don't even need to interview him, just make him an offer or whatever, Just talk to him over the phone, he was great. So if we think of all those connections, not as the destination, but as the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Pele, the famous soccer player.
Uh-huh.
Yeah? Okay, David's heard of Pele. Who else has heard of Pele? Oh, for real? Okay. Yeah. I never heard of him until I met my husband, who's from Brazil. He's a super famous soccer player, and he says everything is practice. Semifinal, game, practice. Gold medal, game, practice. World Cup, game, practice. Right? Because he said, if I get into the mentality that this is it, I get into this space of I'm scared and I have to get it. And now I'm grabbing. Instead of being full and letting things overflow, we're sucking in, which is a weird space to be. And if you ever hung around somebody who needed to be is sucking in all the time, it's like this weird vibe, So, but we like the people who's giving, overflowing. Things are always pouring. So it's just practice. This is not the final destination. It's not the final game, not the final interview. It's all the beginning of something. Yeah.
That's great.
Okay.
I can concur for that, because I used to be in all these game tournaments, and I used to have that this the final match mentality, and then eventually after I started to let go and just pretend it was practice, and it works way better, that mentality, because you don't feel all the anxiety, you don't feel so nervous, and you think clearer.
Yes, totally. So there's this, I say this all the time, someone says, oh, I have a job offer, Kara. I'm like, go apply for 3 jobs right now. Wait, what do you mean? I have a job offer. No, I want you to apply for 3 more jobs right now, because the energy, the feeling of it is completely different than when we want this job. It's like you're not clutch. I mean, you're like, what do you call that when you don't do well? The term in
Eggs in one basket.
Huh? Try what?
Eggs in one basket.
You put all your eggs in one basket. Clutch is when you do well. Oh, he's so clutch. And when you don't do well, they say I forget. Anyway.
Fumbled.
What was that?
Fumbled.
Right? And he didn't do it. As soon as we hang up, and I gotta have to email everybody the name. Yeah. So when we think, I'm good, I'm full, I have it. So I tell this to people all the time. There's this one person, her name is Jennifer, and she had an offer from Uber, the Uber company, cab company, and she was going to do marketing for them. And she was going to work with Aloha Stadium to get a Uber station, so that when the activities they have their own lane, which really picks up a lot of Uber accounts for that activity and things. So that's what she was going to do. And I said, apply for 3 jobs right now. All right. She picked the first 3 that came her way, applied. 1 called her, and they said, we want to meet you. They flew her from Florida to New Jersey.
Wow.
They knew, she's like, oh, I have an offer, but we want to meet you really quickly. So that she met everybody all at once. As she was walking out the door, they gave her an offer letter. So she's calling me on the way back and screaming because it was more than what Uber offered her. And it was in some spin bicycle, which she's like this health nut. So she was going to do business development for this spin thing, which is way more in line than Uber. So she told Uber sorry, and she went with this company. She goes, I went to the interview, I didn't care because I already had an offer. So when we're in that space of we're just full, we shine so much better. Yeah. Okay, awesome. So, Pia, I'm totally curious to know what your resume and your LinkedIn profile looks like.
I never made a LinkedIn. Should I? I need to make one.
Yes.
Okay. I don't have one. I'm so not good with or connected to social media, but I will make one.
I was about to say it's just like Facebook, but for jobs.
But for jobs, okay, I'll make a LinkedIn.
It is like Facebook, but for business.
Okay.
Business. My bad.
No, you're right. Yeah, for jobs, for business. While the other one is personal, this one is business. So absolutely, you ought to have one.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not really good with I guess networking and connecting online and stuff. Because I've been at my previous job, I was there for maybe over 8 years. So I was just so comfortable, and I would just get new positions within the company. And this is the first time I have to like branch out and just, shine or whatever, So it's a learning curve. It's a learning curve. Yeah.
I don't know, my gut feeling, Pia, you're going to land somewhere, and you're going to land somewhere fast.
Oh, I had someone on Indeed asked, what is your salary salary preference? I didn't know what to say to that. What is your salary requirements? So what is your suggestion when somebody emails you?
Yeah. It depends on when they ask you in the process. If they ask you before they even talk to you, they just want to know if they can afford you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's before they even talk to me then.
Yep. If they ask you after they interviewed you, then they want to begin to negotiate.
Oh, okay.
And it's kind of the same answer. You give them a range. I'm looking for between here and here, and I'm flexible. How does that fit in your range? So you always say that. Oh, I'm looking for between here and here, but I'm flexible. How does that fit in your range? And then you know exactly how they answer you. If you're above the range, they'll go, ooh. Then you say, very flexible, because your goal is to stay in the game. If they go, oh yeah, okay, sure, no problem, then you know you said it's too low.
Oh yeah, right?
Just remember that later. Don't say anything now.
Don't just say one number, give a range.
Give a range. And range is because we kind of have a gut feel where things are, right? We have a gut feel even in our own companies, what my boss is making, what my company, we have this gut feel. And then we look at another employer and we're like, oh, I bet they're about the same, or no, they're probably above. And so that range you have based upon who you're talking to, it may move, because you cannot, I mean, if you say something to Surfco, you know they probably have more money than Township. Right, okay, right? They're small, family owned, while Surfco is massive. So your range will change, but the amount you want to make needs to always be in that range.
Okay.
Make sense?
Cool. I never even thought about giving a range. I was just going to give an amount that I thought. My financial advisor said to start high.
Never start high.
Oh, really? Okay, that's good to know.
You want to stay in the game. They're going to say, oh, we cannot afford you, so sorry, Pia. They're not going to say that. They're just going to say, oh, thank you so much, and you're never going to hear from them again.
Yeah.
The time to negotiate is after you have an offer in your hand, never before.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you. I never thought of that.
Casey, have I seen your resume?
She's on mute.
Oh, sorry.
I think you have the first version of it. I don't know if I sent you the 2-page one after I revised it. Yeah.
Happy to see if you want me to see it, Pia, just as well.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll send it to you.
If you wouldn't mind, if I can give you share screen capability, you can share it, and I can tell you right now what I would change if I were you.
Oh, right now? Send it right now? How do you do that?
I think that would be helpful for folks, yeah, to see. Get rid of this, change that. You should see David's, it's beautiful.
I'm like, I'll take that offer. Okay.
Okay, so awesome question that KW had asked. If you're in stealth mode is what I call, you don't want your employer to know. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. How do you let people know that you're looking? Yeah. So the only way I recommend you let people know you're looking is through word of mouth. You never click that open to opportunity on LinkedIn. Never, ever. You know, in LinkedIn, you can say, I let recruiters see that I'm looking for a job. Yeah.
So don't click that.
Never, ever. How come? Why do you think so? Anyone want to take a guess?
Oh, you look desperate? Are you not happy at your job?
Yeah.
Or you're not really, you don't really know what you want. You're not committed to a specific.
Mm-hmm. It feels like this. Casey, you want to go to the senior prom with me? No? Oh, okay. Pia, what about you? You want to go to the senior prom? No? Hey, anyone want to go to the prom with me? I am open to go to the prom with anyone.
That's a good example.
Feels to a recruiter when you say you're open to opportunities. It is repulsive. Isn't that weird? Super weird.
Repulsive.
Repulsive. It's like, nah. Yeah. Okay, so did you email it to me?
Okay, so email it. Oh,
Yeah.
I thought I was going to make it visible or something.
You can do that too. You want to do that? Oh, won't you email it?
Better to email you because then you can.
Yeah.
Okay.
Better to email me. Do you have my email address?
I think I see it in the
Yeah, I'm gonna put them again.
group chat. Kara at ready reset go.
Yeah. And we'll go through it together.
Ready reset go.
Okay. So KW brings up a point that I wanted to talk about today, and that is around networking. My recommendation is sometimes, you know when you have somebody that reaches out to you and you know they want something. They're like, they're just reaching out because they want something. Because the only time they reach out is when they want something. We don't want to be that person. And yet during job search is when we need our network the most, you know? So if we could create like a cadence, a pattern, a habit of reaching out to our closest network on a regular basis, then it won't feel weird. Did you send it to me? Yeah. Oh, you posted it. Did you post it again? Okay. Oh.
Did I think I sent it to your email, right? Okay.
Yep. Sweet. And my recommendation is to just create a list of your 20 closest friends and colleagues, people that you have a really awesome relationship with. And now during the pandemic or now during the situation, reach out to them without talking about job at all. Reconnect with people, see how are they doing, check up on them. And then if the subject comes up around jobs, then you can bring it up. Then it feels more natural, normal, authentic. Yeah. And then once you get your job, then definitely make it a habit to reach out to these people again. So what helps me is I have a month, and in that month, there are 2 or 3 people on my list that I'm going to really make an effort to reconnect with them that month. So throughout the year, at least I feel like I've touched the closest people to me. Okay, all right, let's look at Pia's. You guys ready? Okay, sharing my screen. There, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so first thing I do when I see someone's resume is I pop it out so that I can take a look at it as if I printed it. Now, the conventional wisdom, Pia, is a 2-page resume.
2 pages.
So you want to get this down to 2 pages for sure.
So how about federal though? Federal jobs. It needs to be lengthier, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Never, everything I say has nothing to do with federal jobs.
Okay. Federal jobs. So this is a good for federal maybe, but just on a.
Federal actually asks for different things.
They ask for more detail, yeah.
Yeah. So it'll end up being 5, 6, 7 pages.
Oh. Okay, so this is actually too short, maybe. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Alrighty.
Pages.
2 pages of what you want it to be. And then, so I'm going to talk a little bit about what happens to a recruiter's eyeballs when they see your resume. LinkedIn did this eyeball study where they attached things and they could recognize where do people look, recruiters, when they look at your resume, because you have 6 seconds, yeah? And they just look. And these are the places that they look. They look at your name first and they go, oh, I know this person. No, okay. Then they look at your address and they make assumptions of you of your address.
Wow.
Which is super not fair, but it's true. When I used to support a healthcare company in Honolulu, I was screening resumes for them and I presented candidates. And one of candidates that I presented, the hiring manager said, I don't want somebody from there.
Wow.
It's super sad, but it's true.
That really happens.
Okay, so they go, oh, Mililani, and they make an assumption. And what's their assumption about you because you live in Mililani? See? All right. So not fair. Makes me so mad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're in a situation where your address isn't like Mililani, let me know. And because we still want to put your address there, but we want to put it in a way where it's not going to trip you up in a very first half second that they look at your resume.
Wow.
We can move it in a different part so that they don't see it until they look for it. And by then they already formed an opinion about you and how amazing you are, where it won't matter. Okay?
Wow.
Okay. All right. References, remove.
Remove references. Okay.
Yep.
So should that be a separate attachment? Okay.
It's a separate attachment and you give it to them only when they asked.
Oh, okay. References.
Yep. Okay. Education got to be in the back unless you're a new grad. If you're a new grad, then it goes immediately under your professional summary, immediately under your skill.
Oh, so move that to the front?
No. You're fine because you're not a new grad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it always needs to be in the back.
Okay.
Yep. Awards, perfect. That's fine. All of this is fine. If you can put a little bit of your extracurricular stuff, volunteer, whatever, put it in there, but as long as you don't put in anything that you think might be discriminatory.
Put it under the education part or education.
So it can be awards and community, maybe. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think community.
Okay. So what would be discriminatory? Oh, if you're putting it in chat, then I gotta look at my chat. What would be discriminatory?
Maybe looking at my high school or my college. I don't know.
Why were you in high school?
Like, oh, she went to Mililani. Or, oh, she went to HPU. I don't know.
Age.
Yeah, if you have
Oh,
the year, I would take it out.
okay. What year?
Especially if you're over the age of 40. Yeah. Oh, KW asked a super good question. KW, we're going to get to that. So if you put stuff on here that's discriminatory, so what are things that companies cannot discriminate you against?
Religion.
Religion is one.
I think medical issues.
Disability.
Age.
Age.
Your gender.
Gender.
If you're pregnant.
That's gender.
Race as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So these are like, and then there are other things. Yeah, it could be national origin, which is very close to the race, and veteran status. Yeah. So these are all things that an employer is not supposed to ask about. So we don't want to put things here that might trip them up. Okay.
So, question.
Yeah.
So let's say if you got injured on the job to where you couldn't return due to your injury and your job description. So now you're moving on to, you're looking for a new job. How would you put it in your resume?
Yeah.
Do they ask reason why you left the job?
Yes.
So how would you answer that without lying?
Right. No, yeah, for real kind. The workers' compensation, they cannot discriminate against you because you filed a workers' compensation claim. Yep. And so that Kimi is bringing up, there are some one-off situations that we all have. That in that, I would want to know, I want to see all your history so that, because they're going to ask, why did you leave here? Why'd you leave here? Why'd you leave here? Da, da, da. And so I need to hear kind of what you're saying. Because if it's like, oh, I got hurt, I got hurt, I got hurt, I got hurt. Or this company hired me away. And so I need to kind of hear the whole story in order for us to talk about what would be the best thing to say that's super honest, yet doesn't put you in a tricky situation. Because an employer does not want to know how old you are. They don't want to know. Because they don't want someone to come back and say, you discriminated against me because of my age. So when someone says, well, Kara, I'm 65, and they're saying that in an interview, I get scared. Are they setting me up for a lawsuit?
Oh.
I get scared. So we don't want to say, because we don't want them to do something bad to us, but we don't want to say because they're afraid we're going to do something bad to them. So we just don't say, Yeah. So disability is also a tricky one because sometimes you need an accommodation. And in that scenario, we should talk about it. It's like, those are these one-offs. We all have one-offs to talk about. Yeah. So I want to answer KW's question before I forget, because my memory is like a gnat. I've been working for the same organization 20 years now. So a frequent question is, you're not looking, right? You have a good thing going, right? How do you respond without saying, I am looking? Okay. So in this scenario too, I would want to kind of know the history, the history of it, and what is the truth around you leaving. So I'm going to make up a story. I've been here 20 years and I kind of want to see what else is out there. Or I've been 20 years and I feel like I want to do 10 more other things, and yet I'm kind of stuck here. Or I'm never going to be able to do more things because my boss, he just came and he, until he retires or whatever. So I kind of want to know what the truth is. And then from there, we can create an answer to that question. It's like, I've been super blessed here, so blessed being here. And yet I feel I have so much more to give. I would love to be able to give more. So that's why I'm curious to know what's going on. Yeah. And you will know that I'm a sticker. I stayed here 20 years. I'm not a jumper. I don't know. Just made that up, KW. So yeah, depending on your situation. Okay. Awesome. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to pretend like this is gone, right? Because it's now going to be in 2 pages. Here. So I want to look at the 2 pages side by side. You have 6 seconds, Pia. You were here at Sullivan 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's this all the way to this.
Correct.
And before that, Consolidated.
Those were like my high school and college jobs. Should I even put it there? That's like high school.
Nope, I get rid of it.
Okay, get rid of those 2 then?
Well, let's think about it, because you've been at one place for 8 years. You may want to keep it just to show that you have experience in working in different companies.
Okay.
Because now the nervousness is, well, maybe she kind of stuck in her ways, 8 years at one place.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
But
so keep it.
Yeah, if you worked in other places, it's like, okay, that fear is alleviated. Maybe you should keep it for that, but otherwise I would.
Okay.
I really like how you put your jobs right underneath,
Mm-hmm.
because they get to see your progression.
Yeah.
And then you talk about what it is. Okay. All right. So, okay. All right. I'm going to go to the first page. You have 6 seconds. Logistics, You know what I would do? I would try to get this job on the first page, or even this job. Oh, kind of hard though, yeah?
I know. How do I do that?
Okay, definitely this job would be awesome on the first page, because then they see you have leadership.
Mm.
And so maybe get rid of this stuff.
We'll get rid of that. Okay.
Recruiters kind of hate when they're told that you're passionate. I'm a passionate. I'm a. Recruiters are like, I want to make that determination about you.
Oh, okay.
Just tell me the facts, and stuff like this. It's fine, but it's taking up too much space.
Okay.
Because I think this is way more important.
Okay. Remove skills.
Yeah.
And then it will fit, right? Once we take that out.
The eyeballs have a hard time with more than 5 bullets. Anything that is a really long bullet list, our eyeballs just want to skim right over it.
So 5 is the max then.
Always. You don't need bullets for this part at all.
Oh, okay.
And if you want to make it super easy for eyeballs to follow, get rid of the words. It's like, oh, thank you.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
right? Now, even you just look at it
Yeah.
in a glance.
Oh,
You want the dashes be same size.
yeah.
This is considered a typo by recruiters when your dashes are not the same size.
Wow.
I know. Okay. Boom. Real estate's of the essence. I don't like to bold my commas after a bold. That's just a weird thing for me. Now you have awesome year longevity. I would pop this sucker out and don't hide it. I'm a sticker. This tells me you're a sticker.
Mhm.
But if it's down here, then it's kind of lost.
Oh,
How
I
necessary
see what
is
you did.
How necessary is it to put Honolulu, Hawaii?
Well, I guess it just makes it wordy.
Yeah, you want to make it easy for them.
Oh, okay, because they could always just research it themselves, right?
Or they kind of know.
They probably know what that is. Okay.
Okay. Things in bullet points should be achievements. So this is not an achievement. And eliminate all the words responsible to. In all resumes, get rid of those two words. Do a search and destroy. Okay? So instead you plan.
Mm,
Yeah? That's kind of an achievement, right? Because you're helping them out.
or provided.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. What do you think? Because you're here 2 years. What do you think what's something you're super proud of?
I'm super proud of. I guess at the bottom.
This one?
No, I think it's the next page.
Oh, which one?
The request for proposals. I had to be a part of that negotiation process.
Cool. And why? What about this is an achievement for you?
I guess for me at the time, I really didn't have experience, but I just kind of navigated, made a way, to make it work, and
Uh-huh.
I was proud of that.
So when you said that you're navigating it and sorry, somebody knocked on my door. And so it's something that you learned on your own. It's something that you got really good at. Like how many RFPs would you get? Like one or a million?
Just a couple. Just a couple. Yeah, because we just had to request for proposals for our whole trucking fleet. So I had to reach out to different vendors and kind of finalize a proposal that went out to them, and then also follow up with their rates and help my boss at the time figure out which would be the best fit for the company.
Yeah. And so when you say a couple that you did in all these years?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I helped do this nature of work. Yeah.
And did your boss say, wow, good job? I mean, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to figure out, why do you consider this an achievement? And I know it is, because I'm super proud of this.
Yeah.
If I read this, it sounds like it's a part of your job.
I mean, I feel like it wasn't part of my job, but I just did it anyway. How do you work that?
Initiative
Oh.
to manage requests for proposals. There you go.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I see.
And when you say lower freight rates, like how much? Do you remember how much you lowered the freight rates by?
Remember how much we lowered it, but that was our whole objective, was to get lower freight rates. That's why we requested for that proposal, because we wanted to I guess the upper management, they wanted us to lower our cost and our expenses, right? So we had to, that's the reason why we requested for proposals. So I don't know how to word that.
Yeah, reduced
Oh, okay.
rates and overall costs. And how many warehouse and retail locations?
Put it up there. There's 140 retail locations, and then, well, warehouse location is 2, but the retail locations that we supported was 140.
Okay, so in achievements, you want very much so to have a number
Oh, okay.
as much as possible. Right? So I would say work closely, collected, served as dispatch, managed warehouse. These are all part of the job. It isn't, these are not achievements, or they could be, and we need to just figure out what they might be. And then you have 3 achievements. So if you shrink this, you know,
So we're going to take out the skills, right?
you could. That looks so much better.
and then it fits.
Yeah. And then you do the same, get rid of responsible for, led, support and maintenance. And now you have, right? And then from that, only a few achievements. There. You probably want to decrease this bulk a little bit here. And now it's like logistics coordinator, district supervisor. And then if you start it up here, you'll need to once again put this, because then they don't have to go back.
Okay. Nice.
Then you continue on. Yeah, could even get rid of this.
Okay.
Oh, almost a 2.
Almost there.
Yeah, now this feels like it's, oops, so sorry. This is like weighty. It's like professional. It's, you've
Love
done
it.
serious stuff here.
So so you don't suggest bullet points? Or no? The bullet points are the ones that are achievements, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the ones above, I need to work on making it wording it in an achievement tone. Okay.
And I like this because here you have 130, 100 million, you know, responsible for, you want to get rid of that. All of this you're responsible for. See? Boom, boom. Okay, okay.
Interesting. I never heard of that to make it sound like an achievement. Oh, that's
This is the #1 thing that recruiters are looking for when they read your resume. Okay, so the eyeball things, you're going to go here, they're going to go and they're going to make all these horrible assumptions about you. You're going to flip to the second page and go, where you went school? Go next to the back and go, where you went school? And then they'll look at your titles and dates of employment. That's it. That's it. If they're not caught by then, they're not going to be caught. Okay, all right. Any questions?
thank you.
Yeah.
And then you said for education, just to remove the dates, right? You suggest.
Mhm.
Okay. Because then they can kind of figure out my age.
Mhm.
Okay.
You don't want to put them in that situation. So you can get rid of phone. We know that's a phone. We know that's an email. We know that's your address. Oh, whew, just feels
Nice. I love it.
it's like, oh, I can breathe. Do I talk about my resumes as a human being? It's like, oh, I can breathe. No, I if there's little lines here, it's like, no, his mustache too close to his nose.
I love it.
Yeah, I want to get rid of some of this. Okay, that's all right. Okay, okay. All right. Any questions? Any questions?
Are you my mom's sister by secret? my mom actually taught me all this basic when she first showed me how to do my Yeah, like you don't need the how to notify them. That's a phone number, and you want to keep it short and simple so they know what you exactly have accomplished, basically.
Yes. If you're going to spend any time at all on your resume, you spend it in creating awesome achievements. Yep, awesome achievements. Like helped develop. Like why is this a big deal? This is a huge deal.
It shows that you're a team player and you have expertise in planning.
Yeah, you have expertise in a regulation, right? Yeah, and this organization needs this in order to be compliant.
Mhm.
And what do you need to be compliant for? I don't even know what FMSA is.
It was mainly just, cleanliness, making sure the employees, wash their hands after using the bathroom, or even just keeping our bathrooms and our, what is that called? Our lunchroom area clean, all that documentation part, because if we got audited, that would be a no-no.
Yep.
We weren't compliant.
I would say developed. People say, but I only helped.
Yeah, I really did just help.
Pitching in, nobody does anything by themselves.
Yeah.
Helping one another.
Uh-huh.
Develop FSMA compliant programs for how many people in a warehouse?
I'd say at least 90, might be more.
Goodness gracious. Warehouse staff members.
Yeah.
Plus food employee safety protocols. Right? Now it's like, bam! Develop FSMA compliant programs for 90 warehouse staff, plus food and employee safety protocols.
Nice.
Here's 100 assisted. So you took over when they weren't there.
Basically.
Led day-to-day operations and when senior director and director out of the office. Dash. Administration. Invoice approval. Only use an ampersand if it's part of a legal name.
Oh.
Invoices, tracking, and HR support. Led day-to-day operations, senior director out of the office.
Then it's like an accomplishment. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
All right.
Nice.
So I'm going to save this, send this back to you.
Okay, thank you.
Any questions? Any other questions? This I would never read. It's too long. Master skills in analyzing, interpreting information in order to identify trends, patterns relative to the future. What does that mean?
I did that only because I was going for that logistics coordinator position, and it kind of matched that skill set. So I'll probably just remove that. I try to, connect how my, academic study related to the job that I was going for.
Because it's a Bachelor of Arts in History?
Yeah. And, you know, people would be like, history, you're going to be a teacher, but, you know, there's other ways to.
What if you just put Bachelor of Arts?
Bachelor of Arts? Okay.
Does it matter?
I don't know, does it? Okay. Okay.
Bachelor of Arts. I have a Bachelor of Arts. I have a bachelor's degree. Whoops.
Okay.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Only 20% of us are working in our field that we graduated in.
Really? Oh, that's good to know. I don't feel as bad. Okay. Writing that down.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, that's cool. Sweet. Yeah, totally will leave that. Class of. Okay. Yeah. All right. Cool. All right, I'm going to stop share now.
Thank you.
Yes, you're
That was
welcome.
great. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Wow. That went super fast. Sorry.
Yeah, it did. Was really into it.
Yeah. Cool. Sounds good. So if you guys all have my email addresses, if you need to get in touch with me anytime between our calls, please do. Yeah. Okay. All right, David, you're up.
Okay. Heavenly Father, we just thank you again for just Kara just sharing tips on how our future callings may be, Lord, and that we just ask that you just bless her and just keep her safe and well. And for everybody here, Lord, we just pray for safe journey throughout this week. And just guide us, Lord, to where you want us to go and what you have us to do, Lord, your calling, Lord. We just want to give you all praise and glory this day. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.